So, John, a very lively start to the day. You delivered the keynote speech, and you spoke about the importance of right-sizing the fleet for future demand.
Yes, I think as you look at these fleets and you've got a disparity in ages from relatively new to old, I think you have to understand where demand is trending and what your customer really wants to have at the well site or at the production facility. And those that don't fit, you need to exit that business. You've got a liability and a risk sitting in the water somewhere around the world. So get rid of it. As we've said, we got rid of 42 vessels last year. Our target is 40 this year. I think you just have to understand that the market is only going to support so many vessels of what type they are, and try to understand that. And those in your fleet that you don't think match that, then you have to get rid of them.
You spoke about getting rid of vessels. What sort of book loss did you have to absorb?
I don't know the exact number for 2018. We haven't produced 2018 results. But on an overall scale, the size of the company, it was a book loss, but it was not material.
What was the average budget for reactivation of a stacked vessel for Tidewater, and what considerations do you sort of run through prior to actually embarking on that?
One is just how long has the vessel been stacked, what is its capabilities, and what market will support that type of vessel. I think we probably averaged a little about $1.4 million in 2018, and that would range from as low as $400,000 to as a high of about $2.3 million. So averages are kind of tough, but I think as you look forward into this year, we're going to creep up to probably 1.7-ish. And again, that's going to be $900,000 to $2.5 million. So the average is moving up slightly.
Now your consolidation, your merger appears to have gone really rather well, but not everyone in the sector who's merged has enjoyed your kind of success. Why?
Oh, I think, and we labored on it often in the panel session, was the balance sheets were such good shape that we then could focus on true synergies, operational overhead, and we didn't have to really focus near term on the balance sheet. Very solid cash balances to where we were comfortable there, so we could focus where the rubber meets the road, and that is getting the operation up and running as soon as possible, collectively getting the back office work done, and really driving the synergy savings.
Your view is that meaningful recovery is 6 years away.
I don't know. I would say I'd hate to forecast, but I think that we're going to be in an oversupplied situation at least through the first half of 2020. So what's going to change? What market dynamic is going to drive a quicker recovery? When I think attrition of the assets, we've got to get rid of supply, and obviously we have to have drilling rig demand get back up into the 500. So I think a combination of reduction in supply and the offshore drilling rig count get to 500, 550.
How would you see the outlook for some of the larger European OSV owners?
Well, I think it's well known, and again, I'm not being critical because we're all in the same boat, if you will, no pun intended or pun intended. They have to address their balance sheets because it's just a load on the organization. It's a load on everybody when that's overhanging you, because that's the gating item, and you really can't focus on how do I operate more efficiently, how do I grow, when you've got this overhang of this debt hanging there that you're going to have to deal with. It just takes all the air out of the room.
Now, while sentiment is more positive than it has been for some time, no one's really making money at the moment.
No, I think that we're making no earnings for our shareholders. Our goal, as I said, I think either on the panel or in my prepared remarks, our goal is to, as a minimum, don't burn any cash, be cash flow break even. We're able to achieve that in 18, and obviously that's the target in 19. But that shows you where you are in the cycle when your primary financial target is don't burn cash.
I think it's fairly safe to assume you won't be building new OSVs in the near future?
I would think it'd have to be a special situation for us to build anything.
To what extent does your experience from the drilling market inform your outlook and the approach you'll take?
Well, I think just hanging around the drilling business for 38 years, some of it rubs off on, again, the demand drivers and just the experience level of seeing behavior through many cycles and kind of where the money's going to flow and when it's going to flow and how do you position yourself to grab that money as it starts to come back into the market.
Are you confident, but by the end of this year, we'll see less companies and less tonnage?
Yes, I will say I'm not sure so much on less companies, but definitely a less tonnage.
And a word or two about the ability to raise new finance.
very difficult right now. I think the capital markets are closed to the OSV sector.
Of course, we're all part of an ecosystem. How do you see the outlook for the supply chain, and what are you looking for from the supply chain in this brave new world?
I think I'll term it up easily: reliability and availability.
And finally, if I could ask you for what you see as the biggest opportunity in the year ahead and the biggest threat.
Opportunity, I'll be specific to Tidewater. With our balance sheet and with the cash reserves we have, we'll be able to add capacity into the market, number one, where it justifies it, and B, we'll be able to, if we elect, to do all of our survey work. So we're in a position to where we can gain market share just without doing any M&A. We can just run our own fleet, have organic growth. The bigger risk is, do we have another collapse in the oil price? Or even at this level of uncertainty, do some of the programs that were scheduled to start in 2019 get pushed into 20 or beyond?
And John, you're a first-time attendee of this event.
Yeah.
We are on day 2. You've obviously experienced day 1 and the dinner and the evening awards. How have you found it?
Excellent. I think for me, being new to the space, a great way to get integrated, ingrained into the players, the mood, what are the drivers, et cetera. So it's been a very beneficial for me, so it's been excellent.
John, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.